have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and I wanted to touch base with you on a couple things. First and foremost, thank you subscribers and viewers, all that have given comments. I appreciate it. Some of them have been really good. Somebody had mentioned something, I'm sorry I can't remember the viewer's name, about the toy hauler, and something to look at. But I wanted to cover some of the things that we are slowly coming to conclusions on as far as decision making and what we need to look at. And I want to share that with you. I mean, that's really what the channel's about, is you checking out our progress and hopefully learning our mistakes and what we're finding out, we're trying to tell you, and you can make an informed decision at that point. The one thing that I want you to be aware of, and this is something working on small engines, having my own little business going on, that I've learned a long time ago, and that is your time is worth money. I don't know if you know that already, but anytime you have an effort being put out for anything, it's worth money. And time is something that we don't have a lot of, and that's kind of the reason that we'd like to do the whole RV thing early in the first place. But you got to make sure that you don't take your time for granted that you're doing for something. For example, and in this case, I'm going to give you an example of us downsizing. You can either piece by piece sell stuff through Craigslist or eBay, and you usually get more money per item that way, but there's a lot of labor and time that's involved. You know, communicating with people through email or over the phone, arranging meetings on Craigslist for them to come out and see the item, even if they may or may not show up. So you've got your bidders, they may ask questions. Whenever you do sell the item, now you've got to package it, get it to them. You've got the whole PayPal thing. You've got to make sure you pay your fees. You have to do a lot of research to make sure the item that you're selling is worth selling on eBay, because some of the fees may counteract what you sell it for. So you got to look at that, and of course shipping too. Now the other thing that you can do is like a yard sale. Now yard sales, there's a lot of time involved, but it's not so bad. We kind of enjoy doing that. We'll do it once a year. Maybe this year we'll try twice a year. But there's certain things that don't sell at yard sales. That's usually the stuff that I'd put on eBay or try with Craigslist to get a larger audience. What I'm talking about is like electronics. Those things don't sell very well at all at yard sales. There is another choice that you may want to look at, and that is if you don't want to really have any labor or time at all involved and you want to get rid of everything, you could get hold of an auction house and either drop your stuff off there and let them sell it all for you, or maybe an auctioneer will actually come out to the house and make the sale at your house. If you got enough stuff, they call it an estate sale. For whatever you're selling per item, you're going to get a lot less money. But there again, how much is your time worth versus how much is the item worth? That's what I've come to as far as the downsizing and getting rid of stuff. That's kind of an observation that I've made. So take that for what it's worth, and maybe you'll come up with the same conclusions that I just did. Maybe you'll look at it a little bit differently. The next thing I want to talk about, I've got some bullet points here that I'm looking at, is our house situation. I want to show you real quick here. Let me show you a clip, and this is why we're trying to hang on to the house so much. The house here is on a key piece of property. You can see that lot that's for sale next to us, that white sign's a for sale sign. It's not very big. However, that lot, the guy that owns it also owns that building and the outhouse. That's a real outhouse. And the other bigger building in the background, and then that trailer that's got a carport on it, and then all the land behind it. All in, it's like 6 acres there. And just recently, the guy that owns the house on the other side of that property, that yellow house with a brick chimney, he's got that up for sale. He's moved out, he bought another house somewhere else, and that place is up for sale now. So there's a lot of property in this area, and I'm going to show you even more. All these lots are about 3/4 of an acre. That white house, our neighbor, there's nobody that lives there. That house is for sale. On the other side of that house is an empty lot that's about a 1/4 acre. That's for sale. That house that's on the hill, the yellow house with the porch off to the side, that guy bought that house, I think, to flip it, because nobody lives there. Nobody's lived in there for quite a few years. I'm sure that place will be up for sale soon as he gets done with some more repairs. And then the house that's further past that, a guy just moved in that not that long ago. So if he was approached with a decent offer, that place would probably be for sale also. So there's a lot of property. This whole corner is going to definitely be developed. Now I'll show you why I think that this place is going to be developed. First of all, we have a 6-inch gas main that goes through all this stuff, and there's city and water sewage that comes in across the street. This is why I think it's going to be developed. That Sunoco and Subway gas station does a ton of business, and there's a Family Dollar. It's across the street. They just built. Look at all this traffic out here. This is Sunday. It's not even church being let out. It's like Sunday at 10 a.m. or whenever I film that. That is crazy. That's a lot of traffic, and it's like that all the time. If you ever watch my videos, I'm outside, you can hear the traffic going by all the time. And it's a main route between Alliance and Salem, and I'm telling you, it's just incredible the kind of money that Subway and gas station does. It's not for their service, it's not for their dining area, it's just because it's the only place you can go in this area to eat. So if somebody wants to develop this area and they come through and want to make an offer, I would really like to have this house available for them at the right time and see if we can get a decent amount for it. If we rent it out, the nice thing about that is we can use a designated area somewhere on the property as storage, which would be great. I would love that. That would make it to where we could slowly get rid of our stuff and know that we're not getting rid of stuff with the fear of having to rebuy it at some point because we needed it. So the thing is with that, we want to make sure that our kids have the option to buy it, rent it, move into it. Our son's going to stay here as long as he wants. But with that said, we cannot have this household and all the bills that are associated with it and be on the road doing our thing. It won't work out. We can't have money going to both. It just wouldn't work. So we'll have to pay off this house early, which wouldn't be very hard to do. But still, it's something that we're not in any rush to do. We want to see what our son says and how he feels once he graduates. Getting off the house thing altogether, I have to replace my truck. When I say I have to replace my truck, I'm looking for the right deal. I'm in no rush, but the thing is that truck is past its prime for what I wanted to do with it. I know going through the hills of like West Virginia and stuff, I don't think that truck's really cut out for that, especially if I load up the back with stuff. It just wouldn't do it. But locally, it's fine. I mean, when I say locally, 70-mile trip, no problem, which, 150-mile round trip, that kind of a thing. I don't think it'd have a problem with that. But whenever we get into hills and that, it just doesn't have the gearing for it. It's got 355 gears in there. It could use 410s, but I'm not going to put those in there because I know the truck's going to be sold. I need to get into a big block, old body style Ford, 93 to like 97, automatic, has an extended cab. I really like long beds, so I'm kind of got my eye out for something. Maybe I might pick up, but it's going to be a little while for that. But to get camping for us, in the immediate future, I want to show you a repair that I need to do, I think, on the camper. I want you guys to take a look at this clip real quick. What I'm going to show here is the door underneath the camper on the back entrance door. There's a gap at the bottom that's greater on one side and it gets smaller. And it's like the camper's drooping on the back. And I don't know why that is, because when I had the paneling off on the inside wall there, when we replaced all that water damaged ceiling and roof, there wasn't really anything structural inside that I saw that needed to be replaced. But I can lift the back of that camper's corner with my hands, and that gap goes away to some extent. Now I've got to lift really hard, but still, it's something I got to look at. To where we stand right now as far as to get us camping, that is our main thing right now. I need to get tires for the RV, which I've mentioned many times before. I'm sorry about rehashing that. And tags for all our vehicles. The camper's tags are expired. My truck tags will be expired. And we need tags for the mopeds. It's time. It's just time. We love taking those mopeds around, which whenever we go camping, I'm going to go ahead and clamp on my mount that I have, and we'll do a little video of us going through campgrounds and stuff like that. It's something to look forward to in the future. My truck, for it to be used, I've got a windshield that needs replaced. As you can see here, it's got spider cracks everywhere. I don't even know where they came from. It just happened. I also need to work on the exhaust from in front of the muffler back. That needs replaced, including the muffler, obviously. And I've got a miss in the truck, and I think it's a couple of things. One, from idling all winter long, warming it up, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of carbon, I'm sure, that was built up. Plus, I've got it set up to run a little bit on the rich side. I got to take a look at it. I'm going to run some fuel injector cleaner through the rails through a pressurized system to make sure that the injectors get clean that way. But that's basically what's needed to allow us to start going camping. And we want to do that really soon. But I appreciate you watching as always. I want you guys that have just checked us out for the first time, please subscribe. For you current subscribers and viewers, if you haven't looked at, in our playlist, I've got a bunch of videos that I did on my other channel that had to do with the RV. So you may want to take a look at those. I have a bunch of videos on yet another channel of reviews that I've done on items that are used for the RV and camping, and might be something you want to look at there. If you see anything in there you like, just go to the description of that video and click the link and it'll take you to the product. Take a look at those. I appreciate it. And also our website, rvdaydream.com. If you want to take a look there and see our latest blogs, you might find something that's a little informative. We try to keep that up to date as much as possible. Eventually, Heidi's going to be blogging a little bit more. She's trying to get her feet wet on that. She's a little gun shy. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you out there. Bye.